Hey everyone, MSI Music Scene Investigation on the air. Glad to have you with us today. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you've not been here before, we'd like to welcome you to the broadcast. Great to have you along for the ride. On Music Scene Investigation, if you're not familiar, we'll take 3 songs randomly selected from those that have been submitted by indie artists around the world. Put them in front of our panel. We bring a panel of industry experts together every week to review the music that's submitted. And we do it all for free. Free of charge is a good thing, or as they say in that break commercial, free is very good. And we're glad to do that. The dogs in the background, pay them no mind. They're all friendly, even though they sound like they're nuts and crazy. Now, I want to ask you a question.
I do say dogs are like their owners.
That's true. They really are. I want to ask you a question before we begin. Have you submitted your music yet? Well, if you haven't, go to musicsceneinvestigation.com. At the top of the page is a link called Submit a Song. That's what you want to click if you're an indie artist. Get your music to us. We'll get it in front of the panel. If you're a fan of indie music and want to hear new bands, great music, sometimes not so great music, you just never know. Here's where you want to be every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. We do this live, and we're happy to bring it to you. Now, I want to bring our guests in today, our panel in today, and find out how they've been doing. Let's start in New York City with Mr. Tom Chianti, recording engineer extraordinaire. Tom, how are you, sir?
A little under the weather, but the weather here has picked up my spirits. It's a beautiful sunny day in New York. The cube is shining brightly, as I see on screen, so everything is really going to be a good show, good time. We're lucky to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, Tom. I know that the weather there is only going to get nicer. If what it's like here is any indication, because it's beautiful outside here.
Yeah, it is. Oh, also, my website is up and running.
Well, tell us a little bit about it real quick.
www.thecube.com. It's also a place you can watch this show live, and also resources on the industry, a preview of unscripted audio, which will be coming later this month, maybe. Keep you teasing about that. And it's a generally industry-related informational site with a way to contact me with any information, questions, or whatever. And will be incorporated into the webcast, my webcast, which will follow this or something.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that, and we'll keep up to date over at thecube.com.
Thank you, Rich.
Over in London, England, is our panelist and long-haired hippie dude, Ian Husbands. Hey, Ian, how are you?
Supping on some whiskey with a cigarette and about to listen to some music. It's not a bad night, is it, really?
No, it really isn't. I mean, for a Sunday, you couldn't do much better.
Do you like my T-shirt?
I do like your T-shirt, yes.
Spider, Raise the Banner.
That's
a gift.
The new album, yeah?
It's the last album they released that never really got a proper release, so they're re-releasing it now, and this was a gift from Mr. Dave Bryce, Sniffer, who's one of our guests on the show, to coincide with the release of the album that's now available on Amazon and iTunes and various other websites. So go out and pick up a copy of Raise the Banner by Spider, and I think you can also find their Facebook page. I think it's something like Spider Fan. It's on the back of the T-shirt. I can't read it.
Well, turn around.
Check them out. I'll
turn
try.
around.
I haven't got a lot of space here. Get the hair out of the way. What do you reckon?
No,
you
you're going to have to lean down. Yeah, there you go. Spider Boogie Fan Wagon.
There you go. Spider Boogie Fan Wagon. Check them out on Facebook, and I think you can pick the T-shirts up through there as well.
All right. Well, very good.
Nice looking T-shirt, Ian.
Thank you. It was this one or my Danger Mouse one today, so I opted for the help the Spider crew out and advertise with their T-shirt for them.
I think you chose wisely.
I think so. Maybe Danger Mouse next week.
Well, there you go. Danger Mouse next week. Now, you have some statistics for us from last week's witness statements. I understand we had High Treason, Alan Starkey, and the Whiskey Kings on last week, so why don't you fill us in there?
Well, it was pretty much everyone agreed with us. Our song of the week was song number 2, which was Alan Starkey. But people didn't think it was the best songwriting. People went for number 3 for songwriting over us. But on best performance and mix and production, they went basically with us.
Well,
hang about, I've got to do something. Green Chili's, whose first time joining us live on the show, has just spent 38,000 hours watching us on YouTube, wants to see me do my impression of Jesus again. So here we go. Right, ready? Got to take the headphones off for authenticity, because obviously Jesus didn't wear headphones.
He did have an iPad, though.
There we go. All right, so that's my impression of Jesus at Easter. There you go.
All right. Well, 2 weeks in a row, I think, are more than enough. Hopefully, we won't see that again until Christmas, but you never know. On request,
Christmas,
on
I'll have
demand.
to wear a nappy and be a baby. That'd be bad.
Yeah, well, you should have been wearing something like that today, because, or last week on Easter.
Look, I'll have you know that Jesus was a big Spider fan, so leave it.
All right. Well, we will then. All right. Let's meet our guest panelist today, a administrator over at indie music site called iCompositions.com. He learned guitar from Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead. He played in a band with Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac. Nicer guy you couldn't want to meet. It's It's John Gerkensmeyer. Hey, John, how are you, man?
I'm fine, but enough about me. Let's move on.
You know you're not going to get off that easy, right?
I tried, damn it. I'm doing it.
Well, I'm glad you're all right. Now, you're in Hawaii now. You've been there for a while. Nothing to do with music on this question. What is the biggest difference, in your experience, between Hawaii and the mainland?
About 2,500 miles.
Longer days?
Of water.
And no one knew you were a comedian too, Jay. That's pretty impressive.
And they still don't.
No, you're right. They don't.
But one of the big differences, the other day we went and took our eye tests, which is another, I get my free eye test because we had to go get our driver's license. So at the driver's license place, the DMV, I found out I'm not blind.
Really?
Hey!
But then I passed the test. But they're crazy, man. I'm almost 62 years old, and I get a license for the next 8 years. So until I'm 70. God, I told her I'm never going to need a license again. I don't plan on living that long. This is ridiculous.
Now, they give out licenses in Hawaii for 8 years, and
here it was a 62-year-old guy.
Now in California, you didn't get a license for 8 years though, did you? It was like 4 or 5, wasn't it?
Actually, I think the older you get, the shorter it is too.
What do you need a license for when you got your free bus pass?
Well, that's if I don't want to spend money on gas.
Well, you know,
Is that a premium there? I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a little more. It's almost as much as it is in New York.
Oh, woe is you. Have you seen the difference in prices to American petrol to English petrol? We pay about double the price you pay.
10 miles across your whole country. In America, you got to go 4,000 miles to get across the country.
That is a good point. That is a real good point. Now, I do want to get into music a little bit with you, Jay. I got to ask the question that's on everybody's mind, and that question is, was Jerry Garcia as much of an ass as what everybody likes to think he is, or was he really a cool dude under all that hair?
Well...
I got to admit, I'm the guy who thinks Jerry Garcia probably was an asshole. And the reason I say that is because every video I see him in that he's ever done, doesn't look like he's having a good time to me.
Oh,
Send
if
your
you could see
cards
behind those
and letters.
eyelids. If you could just see behind those eyelids.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He was a little abrasive at times, yeah.
So it wasn't just my imagination, is what you're saying.
You have a pretty vivid imagination, Rich, I must say.
I do. And Lindsey Buckingham, as nice a guy as what he appears?
No, he was a rich snot at the time.
Okay. Well, that explains why he and Stevie Nicks got together.
That could be.
Yeah. So, as an administrator over at iCompositions, you've been there a while. When did that place first start out, and what makes it different from other music sites around the net?
It started as soon as GarageBand was announced. And it's different because it's still there. And it's different because it's great.
Now you got a lot of users. I got to tell everybody that I'm a member at iCompositions as well. There are over
As are we all.
Right. There are over 100,000 musicians and people who are members of the site. Not all of which are musicians necessarily. And the site itself is free for musicians to post their music, collaborate with other musicians. In fact, they can post as much music as they want. There is no limit, correct?
That's insane. Yes, it is.
And they can post video there as well.
I mean, you could talk about a place for free storage. Yeah.
It's kind of like the Dropbox for music.
It's MyTube. Yeah. Or iTube, or a lot of stuff up there. I don't know how we afford these servers, but we do.
That was going to be my next question, but since you've already answered it, I won't ask.
Well, you know that there's no charge for nothing, and the few things that are chargeable are so minuscule, and there's not that much advertising. But according to PM, the advertising pays for it.
Well, that's good. I mean, I was going to, I've always wondered about that because, you can get an artist podcast there, have all your music sent to iTunes very easily for, what is it, a couple of bucks a month? I mean, it's nothing.
I think it's $4 a month.
And then to get rid of the advertising is about the same or less, I think.
I don't know. I don't see the advertising. I hate to say it.
So you're not the only guy over there running iCompositions. As you mentioned, there is a gentleman named PM who owns the site. And,
big boss.
Right, he's the big boss. And there are others that also help out, right?
We have a few monitors. We only have one really active monitor, Beckwell. Miss Becky, my mom. She's my mother,
I've heard that.
I'm a little older than she is, but she's still my mother.
And she actually runs the whole site herself.
She does, yes. We PM and I are just a ruse.
You're figureheads.
You're a rumor.
Yeah, a room, yeah. It's all her, baby.
Needed a woman's touch, basically.
Yeah, we can blame her if anything goes wrong.
Oh, there you go. That's easily accomplished, I guess. So I tell you what, let me ask you this final question before we get into the music, because I know that's why everyone's here. They're not.
Well, the answer is it's there's a curse on it, and Trilo won't let it go. That's the answer. Without the question, the great Hubapa knew the question.
No, that wasn't the question, but I'll take that as an answer if you want to, push that forward again after I ask the question. In indie music, because you've been around it so much from iCompositions, over the years, the biggest difference in the music that you've heard that's taken place?
That was the question, Jay.
Well, I'm thinking there's no difference. I mean, music is music is music. People are getting better with their tools. I can't say that. I can say that more people that use the tools are coming out. But, people are still making good music. I've always making good music. Some of it sucks and some of it still sucks. So, what are you going to say?
Well, that's as good an answer as any, is my opinion. I mean, you're always going to have people making great music, some not so great. But do you think that it's opened the floodgates now that more people are actually making music than there, say, was 5 years ago?
Oh, of course, it's more and more every day, and I think the need for the great almighty contracts, as it were, is just going by the wayside quicker and quicker. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people, several listening here, that don't even listen to to signed music anymore. Just, spend all their time listening to indie stuff. So, yeah, it's a great phenomenon. It's sweeping the world.
All right. Well, cool. Let's hope some of the songs we're listening to this week sweep the world as well. So I think what we'll do right now is go ahead and start listening to some of that music. So, guys, go ahead and let's take a listen to track number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation, everyone. Hope you enjoy it.
Says you don't know what to do. She's laying on my chest, my fingers through her hair, and she says it's so hard. Walls are closing in. I hold her tighter and brush back her hair. Don't go to sleep and wipe those tears from your eyes. Don't go to sleep and it doesn't know that tomorrow will bring a better day. A better day. We do need to change. She knows it well inside. I can't stand to see her rise. And it's been a long day. Know she needs to rest. But I can't stand to see her like this. Don't go to sleep and wipe those tears from your eyes. Don't go to sleep and it doesn't know that tomorrow will bring a better day. A better day. A better day. A better day. This could be the last time. This could be the last time. This could be the last time. Yeah, yeah. Don't go to sleep and wipe those tears from your eyes. Don't go to sleep and it doesn't know that tomorrow will bring a better day. A better day. A better day. A better day.
There you have song number 1 on today's MSI. I want to go straight over to our friend in London, Mr. Ian Husbands, find out his thoughts. Ian, track number 1 to you.
I think this one's going to be called A Better Day. I'm just going to take a guess at that. Yeah, I mean, overall, there's a start of a good song here. It's got a very much that sort of, people are saying in the chat, Rob Thomas, Matchbox 20, hints of Creed, very much Seven Mary 3 on the vocals. So it's kind of got that sort of 90s grunge feel, the sort of post-grunge thing as well, which is good. I love that sort of stuff. But, I mean, there are some things that need attention on this. I mean, to start with, the drums sounded great. Touch too much reverb in places on the drums for my like, but otherwise, tonally, they sounded good. But they did dominate that track quite a bit. The guitar sound, it was... Thin's not the word. It just wasn't present enough. This is a guitar-based song, and the guitars were just knocked back. The vocal needs to come up a touch more, and the lead guitar that needs cranking up. It just wasn't there at all. The lead guitar and the lead vocal should sit in a similar space and at a similar level to everything. And I found them both just lost, knocked back in that mix. From the point of view, I thought the lyrics were good, but I wanted that chorus to fly more. I wanted him to sort of come out that sort of bridge and really push his vocal, to sort of take it up an octave or something like that and go for it. It just seemed to sort of meander through, and although there's a chorus there, I think that could be a lot stronger. And again, no backing vocals. It seems to be something we see a hell of a lot on this show. And some harmonies and some layering would really help thicken that chorus up as well. The middle eight I found a tad predictable. I kind of could have told you it was going to go in that direction. Is that a bad thing? I mean, some people like to be spoon-fed stuff they can easily understand. But from my point of view, I think, the writing quality here is there. I think there's a good band here, and I think they could have done more with that middle eight. I would have loved to have heard some sort of underlying piano or sort of a big B3 Hammond or something like that on here as well. Just the guitars, the bass, the drums, and the vocal just didn't seem to make that sound as big as it could have done. And I really would have loved to hear some keys in there. It is going back to that sort of sound that Seven Mary 3 and Matchbox 20 do get. But, it's been done before. It works. And I think this sort of track really does need that.
All right, Ian, I appreciate your thoughts. Let's go over to Tom Chianti. Tom, what do you think of track number one?
Well, I agree a lot with what Ian said. I think this is a good song. It's organized well. The vocal performance could have been pushed, and, even just the simple insertion of a single background harmony would have really lifted the chorus up, like Ian said. And I really, really liked one of Ian's suggestions, the piano, maybe a little echoey, solid upright piano doing a melodic fill here and there. But my biggest, this is a great demo, but it is a demo. My biggest concern is the balances. Obviously, the overall EQ. It seems the guitars didn't have the presence they needed because they had a lot of bottom on them. Although you could still make out the bass, which was clear, and the kick, and like Ian said, the drum sound was very good, a little verby for me. I just think they put down some excellent ideas and need to take this back and listen to it and push themselves, because there's a lot of talent here. And I think, coming on to the show as is a good way to show us a work in progress. And there's a lot that can be done with this to bring it to total fruition. I mean, occluded is the word I would use on the mix. It's just not balanced well. The frequencies aren't defined well. Things are getting in the way of each other. But overall, it's a great basic track and demo. And I think they really, can go places if they continue to push themselves.
All right, Tom. Well, thank you so much. Over to Mr. John Gerkensmeyer from mycompositions.com. John, what do you think?
Plaid. Very plaid. And I think you know what I mean by that. It's obviously Seattle in the 90s, plaid. It's very good at copying what I mean, it's been done 1,000 times in that genre. I liked it because I like that stuff, but it sounds like it could have been any of those. Somebody said Eddie Vedder. Is he the guy? Vedder? Who? Is he the guy of? I'm too old to know all these names anymore. But I mean, it was fine for what it was. I too, as I was listening, would have loved some very many places where a 2-girl chorus doing some background stuff would have fit in really nice. Other than, I don't think it needed anything. I particularly didn't like the sound of the snare drum. To me, that was the only thing that was really crisp, and it kind of set it off for me. I mean, it should have been as muddy as everything else was sounding. But I liked it. Okay.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
If I just say, I think this is one of these bands who, if you saw this live with this setup, and they're driving the dynamics live through the pedals and the guitars and stuff like that, and pushing levels up and down, and that singer was going for it, it would work really well as is. But on recording, you need to sort of refine that a bit more and get it down a bit better.
Capture it live.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me take and introduce that track to everyone. The name of the track is Better Days. The group's name?
Excuse me, Ian, you guessed it. How'd you do that?
Hey, I'm just good, me.
The name of the group is Abel 1313. Abel 1313. Thanks for sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Again, the dogs must like it too. They're going crazy in the background. I'm going to have to do something about those guys, though.
Question is,
shoot the dog. Shoot the dog.
Question is, though, who let the dogs out?
Ow.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out before the show ends. All right, gentlemen, let's get straight to it. I'll get track number 2 up for everyone, and we'll take a listen to it right now on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it, everyone. Here is track number 2. And there is track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. We're going to go straight over to Mr. Tom Chianti first, find out what Tom thought. Tom, your take on track number 2.
I get this one. At first, I thought it was a very interesting intro with the effects returns only and would gradually build and erupt into something. Either a mistake was made by the person submitting this and they didn't actually get the original signal, which is a shame because I heard a pleasing voice echoing in there, and a nice sounding guitar. Maybe, like I said, they made a mistake and didn't include the direct signal, or definitely needs to practice their listening abilities to discern that they have way too much reverb on. Other than that, it really doesn't allow me to do much else because it's all effects.
All right, Tom, fair enough. Let's go to Mr. John Gerkensmeyer. John, what do you think about track number 2?
A very, very, very large bathroom with one microphone in very far back and someone trying to tell us what a great voice they have. That's what I heard. Very nice voice, but it was recorded very far away, so far away, almost indiscernible as what was being said or what was being done. Very large bathroom sound. That's about it. That's about it.
All right, sir. Well, I appreciate that. And over to Ian. Ian, your take on this track.
Just trying to think of another. They've done the effects return. They've done the bathroom. Wembley, live at Wembley during sound check when no one's there with the microphones at the back of the stadium. I mean, yeah. If you're going to submit an acoustic and vocal track only to us, then it's got to be good. It's got to be. The guitar was strummy and loose. It sounded like some interesting chords going on there. Didn't always work to my ear from what I could hear. The girl's obviously got a good voice. She's got that sort of cause lilt to it, that sort of Irish folk thing. And I think, from what I could hear, there's a song going on here. But again, you need to remove that reverb. I couldn't make out the lyrics. It was just a wash of sound. I'm trying to get through that. I mean, it's very short. It needs work on the arrangement. I mean, at 2 minutes 10, you can put instrumentals in there, put some breaks in there. But I could hear strings and mandolins and, some sort of very basic drumming and some bass. This needs a lot of work. This isn't at a point where, this is the sort of thing I knock down just to get an idea out of my head. And then I will come back and start re-recording it seriously and properly when I find the time. But it does. It sounds like someone sat there, knocked this down in 2 seconds, no real thought for production, engineering, anything like that, and just sent it over to us. And it just doesn't stand up as it is at all.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Ian. And John, were you wanting to add something to that?
I think, once again, Ian has assumed it's a female. You know better. It could not be. It's possible.
I'm hoping that this one is. Otherwise, I'm going to get really worried.
Well, I can't tell you whether it is or not, but let me go ahead and introduce the track anyway. The track is called Laws of Congruence by a group called Kill the Intellectuals. So Kill the Intellectuals, we appreciate your sending your track in to Music Scene Investigation. All right, before we get to the third track, I want to remind everybody about the Be a Witness statement. Our witness statements are something we use to get your take on what you've heard on today's broadcast. So if you're not in the chat room, or even if you are in the chat room, please hit the link on the side of the page over at MusicSceneInvestigation.com called Be a Witness, and make sure you go to that witness statement. Let us know what you think of the tracks and whether or not you agree with our panelist as we get ready to listen to track number 3 on today's show. Gentlemen, let's get into it and go to track number 3 right now. So here we go with track number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy, everyone.
How can I find what you define? Contentment.
chasing my shadow like my only friend, and every consequence seems to have no end. While every consequence keeps coming back again. I used to be a different man with my hand in a little bit of every cookie jar, eating chocolate chips and macadamia nuts. But what's nuts thus far is I'm fidgety, like the atmosphere's getting to me, like I'm from another galaxy, far, far away. But I gotta stay here, just a Buzz Lightyear. When my helmet comes off, will I be able to breathe the air out there? How can I find? Won't you define? If I could be mine, would I ever find contentment? But now the chocolate chips taste just like frosted shit without the frosting, and the psychiatric treatment is costing me so much more than I can afford. But I can't afford to go through much more, and I swore off cigarettes for 18 months, only to smoke again. It comes back like a long lost friend you never want to let go, so you just do it some more. Worried about your lungs, becoming nicotine more. And what's all this nonsense for? Why am I hitting the floor and always slamming my door and feeling pissed to the core, even just by the poor, and still the wish to ignore me, and I can't even score with this chick I adore without thinking I owe her some money or fortune. I can't keep my porch clean, I keep throwing the trash out the front door, and I would love to relax, but now my taxes are due once more. Won't you define contentment? If I could be mine, would I ever find contentment? How can I find? Won't you define contentment? If I could be mine, would I ever find contentment? And even while I'm writing these verses, I'm feeling confused, I'm feeling uneasy and unamused, and also like I have a choice to make, and I can't choose between being unhappy or sad. Be bad, I feel like I can only lose a good thing, while I bring a bad thing or two into my life, just trying to make this day a little better. Live for now, and tomorrow I'll just let it be what you be, instead of trying to free myself and live for the future instead of the past. But I just can't see the future through this looking glass. It's broken, I guess it's 7 years of bad luck. I'm starting to discontentment. Won't you define contentment? If I could be mine, would I ever find contentment? How can I find? Won't you define contentment? If I could be mine, would I ever find contentment? Contentment.
And that is track number 3 on today's MSI. Let's go over to Mr. John Gerkensmeyer. John, what do you think about track number 3?
Well, if it had gone much longer, I would have started getting really upset with the monotony of it. But it didn't. It kind of stayed in the range that it was okay. I really liked the way the vocals were done myself. I mean, I don't know how it was done. Maybe Tommy can tell us. I mean, they definitely pan left and right pretty strong, but whether it was just the same track split up and with different effects, I don't know, but it sounded really nice. I like that. The music itself was not impressive, but it kept me interested through most of it, so I'll give it a thumbs up.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, John. And let's go over to Ian Husbands, find out his thoughts. Ian, track number 3.
Yeah, this is interesting. There's some good stuff going on here. I think I heard him swear something about frosted something or other. I think he was talking about breakfast cereals, which I think, it's a bit strong. Breakfast cereals are good. Some people like them, some don't. No need to swear about it. Beats were good. I did really like the beats. They were well performed, and tonally they were fantastic. I liked the contrast between the song, as in the sung chorus, and the rapping. The rapping was tight. Lyrically was very strong as well, I thought. But I didn't like the way the vocal was produced. It was hard left, it was hard right. And to me, that made it sit out of the mix far too much. I would like to hear things more central with the music around it, rather than just the vocals pushed hard left, hard right. I mean, the layering and the tracking was very, very tight. It was good from that point of view. But it just seemed that this vocal sat out of the mix. It was like they had a backing track to work to, and then they recorded the vocal over the top of it with different reverbs and different compressions, and it just wasn't sitting together. I did also feel that the sung vocal needed more clarity. I was struggling to make out the words properly. That could be a performance thing, could be an EQ thing, but either way, I couldn't quite make out the words, what were being sung, as clearly as I would have liked to have done. The synths were well back. They were getting lost in places. There were some really nice bits and pieces going on, some nice sounds, but they were just in and out of the mix and not in a good way. It sounded almost like, I think someone said in the chat this as well, that the whole track was over-compressed. It was just like, let's make this a wall of sound, let's get these beats and that vocal as big as possible, compress, 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 and it's not necessarily a good thing. It's done a hell of a lot these days. I agree with John also, as it did get a bit monotonous. I would have liked to have heard a middle eight or a bridge or a breakdown into an instrumental part, just something to break it up a little bit, give your ears a bit of breathing space, something else to listen to, because, you know, there's a lot going on, and just from rap to singing, rap to singing, rap to singing, it didn't really sort of have that break, and again, it could have got boring. Coming in at just under 4 minutes, that was fine. If it had gone any longer, it would have got a bit too tedious. I mean, overall, I did actually like this. I thought it was well performed. It just needs work on that mix.
All right, Ian, I appreciate your thoughts on that as well. Mr. Tom Chianti, what do you think on track number 3?
Well, I do like the beat and the musical arrangement. Panning the vocals and throwing them out of phase to make them wider than the mix is a trick best saved for subtle background vocals, not for a lead vocal. This was so distracting to me. I was getting dizzy. You know, phasing was going on, and I'm very sensitive to those things. And it was just very, very distracting, and I found myself forcing myself to concentrate on the musical content. Luckily, it was redundant, so I was able to ease back a bit. But those vocals, so panned and out of phase and delayed and affected their clarity. There was a nice harmony in there that you couldn't hear in the background. You know, I think they ought to remix this and concentrate on the mix, and do as Ian suggested. There's no dynamics, there's no change, even for 4 minutes, you know. It's a good beat, and it has interesting parts going on, but they repeat, you know. It needs a change up. It needs to progress from beginning, middle to end. You know, the rapping was good. He pretty much consistent on time, in the pocket. I think it's, you know, the way the vocals were handled that really makes it unintelligible, and it's a shame. This could have been much more listenable to me if it wasn't for the phasing issues and the fact that the balances were off. Honestly, it would make a good demo if remixed and then given to, you know, a producer who could take it to the next level. There is talent here. There are interesting things going on, but again, it is overly distracting with that hard panning on the vocals, and there's no difference between the lead and the chorus, and there should be. It's very disturbing. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've got a little bit of a virus, and this just really is affecting me. I'm sorry.
All right,
so,
Tom.
Tommy, how do you think that vocal was done with the hard left and right? Do you think it was the same track they split, or was it two different live recordings? What do you think? How do you think that was done?
It's thrown out of phase. any number of ways. You can take the same track, EQ it differently, delay it, or simply just use a plugin that will fake stereo your vocals and or anything, and it messes with the phases. That's why I was feeling queasy. And
so you're just really pretty sure that it was just one singing track split up, right?
Honestly, I think it was multi-layered and then split.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was some tracking in there. I think they've done the vocals a few times and then split them forward. They might have also duplicated the tracks and split them as well. I mean, the rapping, I think, was definitely layered. As in two separate performances.
Guys.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it. Let me take and introduce the track to you. Track number 3 is called Contentment by Loopy One. Loopy One with Contentment. Thanks for sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Again, if you're an indie artist, want to get your music heard and get it out in front of potential new fans, head to MusicSceneInvestigation.com. Submit a song. That's all you need to do. It's free. It's always fun. And even though you may not know when you're going to get on, we'll get everybody on. We do. We select 3 randomly each week for that purpose, and you will get on. And we'll try and let you know ahead of time if we can. All right, gentlemen, you have the task at hand, a very difficult one at that, in selecting our Song of the Week now. So I'll let you discuss it and make your selections.
What do you think it is?
All right, number.
Okay, I'll go here. Obviously, number 2 is not even in the making because it just wasn't a song yet, right? And I think both 1 and 3 were both kind of uneventful, but okay in the genres. So it's kind of hard for me to pick between the two because to me they're both identical. They're both from a genre. Nothing special about either one of them. They're just relatively well done for what they are. And I think number 1's going to have to be it. Just because.
All right, so there's 1 for number 1. Ian and Tom?
Go on, Tom.
I'll go, if you wish, Ian.
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right, I have to definitely go with number 1. I agree with what JL said. They are genre-specific and done. Although I have to beg to differ, the rap productions we have gotten, especially recently, have been outstanding. Mixing and punching out the cuss words and production-wise. This falls short on what's come before it, unfortunately. So definitely number 1 was... genre specific, nothing new, as JL said, but the best that we have on our plate today.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree. I mean, it was a toss up between 1 and 3. Sorry, not 1 and 2. They're both at similar levels in their recording and their production. I think if I was to take one that needed less work to get there, it would be number 1, because I think the parts are there. The song's there, it just needs that mix sorting out and maybe a few bits and pieces added, where I think number 3 needs a lot more work and arrangement as well as sorting that mix out. So number 1, I'm with the guys, unanimous.
All right, there you have it. Number 1 is called Better Days by Abel, 1313 being our Song of the Week for this week. We appreciate it, everyone. John, thanks so much. Appreciate you coming out from under the building of iCompositions.
Mahalo.
You off to the beach now?
No, it's a nice day. I think I'm going to do some lawn mowing.
All right.
Again?
You're such an exciting person, John.
I'm not. I'm not exciting at all.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate everyone out in the audience being with us as well. We certainly hope you join us again next week. We'll do
When's
this
our,
all
next
over
tip
again.
this time?
Hey, Rich, we got something coming up Wednesday, don't we?
Absolutely, we do. And I was just going to invite everybody to join us over at MusicSceneInvestigation.com/radio. Tune into the radio on Wednesday That's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have another hit list for last month. We're going to be playing 5 songs for you this time around to select our band of the month. And you're not going to want to miss that. Brought to you by the guys and gals over at the Live to Play Network, Sound Pro Live, Butterflies Radio, and the Indie Music Bus. It's going to be a great time. We certainly hope you join us for that. Right now, however, we're going to play out with Abel 1313 Better Days right here on Music Scene Investigation. Thanks for being with us, everyone. We'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Says you don't know what to do. She's laying on my chest, my fingers through her hair, and she says it's so hard. Walls are closing in, and I hold her tighter and brush back her hair. Don't go to sleep and wipe those tears from your eyes. Don't go to sleep and you just know that tomorrow will bring a better day. A better day. We do need to change. Nose and west side. I can't stand to see her ride. And it's been a long day. Know she needs to rest. But I can't stand to see her like this. Don't go to sleep and wipe those tears from your eyes. Don't go to sleep and it just know that tomorrow will bring a better day. A better day. A better day. Better day. This could be the last time. This could be the last time. This could be the last time. Yeah, yeah. Don't go to sleep and wipe those tears from your eyes. Don't go to sleep and it just know that tomorrow will bring a better